All right, my friend. Let's dive right into bringing the pact home. And for you joining in and wondering what the pact is and which home we are speaking about, welcome. Now, I want you to think with me on this one, and it is much of sports. So you are playing for a team, and this team, you are past halftime, and your team has been scored 5 goals to 0. And you are still determined that your team needs to win this match. What will you do? Will you relax or will you push hard? If you relax, that means the opponent will score you even more goals. But if you push even hard, you might equalize or even end up winning this particular match. Now, as I speak to you, only 17% of the Sustainable Development Goals are on track. Others are on regression, while others are on stagnation as well. If the current trend persists, 590 million people will live in extreme poverty. More people will go into hunger. The climate change or the temperatures will rise beyond 1.5 degrees centigrade. And youth unemployment or general unemployment will rise. It is against this backdrop that the United Nations Civil Society Conference was held in Nairobi, Kenya. That was on 9th and 10th of May. Over 2,000 civil society organizations participated. 115 nationalities were represented, with the highest percentage of participants for this conference coming from Africa, with a big agenda of bringing people together to think and to start talking on how they can inspire hope and drive actions for the Sustainable Development Goals, ensuring no one is left behind. It is through this conference that people made commitments to bring more actions on table and to help achieve the 2030 agenda. The conference resulted into two main outcomes: the outcome package and the impact coalitions. The outcome package contained information that was incorporated into the Summit of the Future that resulted to the Pact for the Future, which was adopted at the 79th United Nations General Assembly. It is during this General Assembly that member states committed to act now and build a common future, again, where no one is left behind. Now, coming back to the Pact and bringing it home. The Pact for the Future has got a roadmap to help drive the agenda for the Sustainable Development Goals. And all the member states are expected or required to localize this Pact for the Future and bring it to the local context, involving their local people and engaging at the international level. If you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Omondi Peter, founder and CEO of Global Youth Forum, and I was a youth reporter and intergenerational subcommittee member for the Civil Society Conference held in Nairobi. So for this presentation, I'm aiming to share 5 things. The first one probably covered, looking at the Pact for the Future, bringing that home, and then sharing ideas on how this pact can be brought home and probably engage the Kenyan people to implement and to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. I will be sharing what we've been doing since the conference and how you can be involved to drive that agenda and help localize the pact, and probably share your experiences with other people from across the globe. Now, Let us dive right in. We just did a short survey asking people, why do they think that only 17% of the sustainable development goals are on track? I see poverty is popping up, lack of awareness. I see lack of intention, lots of dialogues, misplaced priorities, misuse of resources, and so many other reasons as to why only 17% of the sustainable development goals are off track. Now, the Menti is still open. You can still just go to www.menti.com and key in 55 28 91 64 and share your reasons as to why you think only 17% of the SDGs are on track. Because we can only address a problem when we know the root causes. We cannot just jump onto addressing issues that we don't understand. And this is the general views from the people. And when these views are taken seriously, then we are more likely to get into this match and win this match. Now, relating this to our story, we are way off track. Just like in this particular match, we are 5 goals down. We need to get serious. We need to score as many goals as we can so that we can win this particular match. Now, localizing the pact. If we look at the entire pact, a lot of things have been happening. But I want to narrow down to the Kenyan context. I want you to imagine having limited resources and everybody from everywhere trying to grab these limited resources that we have without no clear path of what or where they are using these resources. So to localize the pact for the future, an idea from the Club 17 looks like this. Number 1, Kenya is made up of 47 counties. I want you to imagine Nairobi County with over 100 organizations all working to eradicate poverty with no clear outcome or with no clear results, being everywhere. So the first point is mapping out all the organizations across all the 47 counties working on the sustainable development goals. Task these organizations to measure on only one sustainable development goal. They cannot be everywhere because they cannot do everything. We know that the SDGs are interrelated, but we want to be very specific that XY organization is dealing with XY sustainable development goals. Set an impact challenge for all these organizations, a challenge relevant to the sustainable development goal that they are addressing. Merge all these organizations within the county level, meaning you can start from the ward level, come to the constituency level, come to the national level. So where the organizations working on no poverty at a ward level are linked at the county level, and then they report to the national level. And then get these organizations to come up with an SDG project and implement that project. And once they implement that project, ask them to present their impact, what they have achieved, and set an annual award to recognize and award the best organization, and then get all other organizations to work under this umbrella of organization with the best practices. That means the coalition. And then the award ceremony to be held during May 9th and 10th, when the civil society conference was held in Nairobi. So what this will do in terms of when it is used to address the issues we've spoken about, it will centralize the funding system, it will consolidate the action efforts, it will eradicate corruption because people will be gearing towards delivering impact, and it is this impact that will be rewarded. So rewarding actions and impact, and simplified reporting and measure of impact, and then inclusivity of communities across the country, and then it will promote collaboration and meaningful partnership between stakeholders. So what is happening now? We have a goal and everybody is pulling on different directions. People are not collaborating, people are not partnering. Everybody is talking about their impact, but in real sense, they're just wasting the limited resources that we all have that can be strategically used to realize the sustainable development goals and involve everybody. So as we speak, our key areas involves a number of actions. I know you can all go and read the Pact for the Future and see the action items. We have 13 of them in relation to what we are working on and our working in the youth space. But I want you to look onto action 11. We will protect and promote cultural and sport as integral component of sustainable development goals. I did mention that I do a bit of work with the United Nations Department of Global Communication under Football for the Goals. Football alone has got 5 billion fans across the globe. I want you to imagine if football can be used to mobilize and inspire hope and bring more action towards the sustainable development goals. And probably that's why I'm advocating for Football for the Goals as a channel to bring more people together, work with them to eradicate poverty and to address other sustainable development goals. Now, coming back to what we've been doing since Civil Society Conference held this year in May. So first things first. So we formed, meaning we did 6 episodes, interviewing 17 leaders from across the globe. Each leader represents a sustainable development goal of their choice. So that phase was done, meaning we have 17 leaders from across the globe, each representing a sustainable development goal. And our aim is to act together to bring this pact to its fruition or to realize the result of the pact for the future. Now, we are now in phase 2, where leaders are mobilizing 17 members to join their team. So we formed Club 17, and its working model is members take the Act Now challenge, they join their team, and then they develop an SDG project and then enter an SDG Champions League. And we'll tell you how this will be played. An example, Tito, who is team leader for team 3. So club 17 members, you recruit 17 other members to join your team. So Tito has already recruited 15 members. So he's only left with 2 members to complete his team and start thinking of an SDG project to enter an SDG Champions League. Once all these teams enter into the SDG Champions League, people will play, and how it will be played, we will tell you more about that, but it will be much of working to develop, to implement the SDG project in their own community. And then at the end of it, teams will enter their awards, they will be vetted, and the best team will be selected and awarded. We know that if we act together now, we can achieve the sustainable development goals. Join Club 17 and let's all bring the pact home, because together we can achieve the sustainable development goals.